Hey guys, David here, and I've got a special video for you today. Um, Instead of playing actively and recording it while we're on stream, I'm doing a Capture Age review cast of a team game that the H Buddies and I played a couple nights ago. So wanted to bring this game to you guys. We can check it out, kind of go over some of the stuff in here, but just to start off with some introductions, so myself here in the orange, playing as the Korean. Right next to me, actually, you'll start seeing his red vills here. We've got not Jason, he's playing as the Jurchens. Um, Also with us in the Eight Buddies is Google Wise, playing as the Bengalis in the purple. Drew, and he's playing as the Spanish in the yellow up. And on the enemy team, it looks like we've got Teal here, I suck, Mick Goosey, playing as the Italians, which is fun. Up here in the blue, we're watching another player as the Jurchens. Looks like Kyle. Right. Over here in the gray, we've got Ms. D playing as the Franks. Lastly, we've got green, my favorite color, playing Incas, Mole, and so. Um, and the map we're playing on here is Murkwood. This is actually a new game. Excuse me, a new map to the game. Recently added in one of the states. Uh, yeah, I've been enjoying it. It plays a lot like Nomad does, where you kind of set two villagers to the TC, and then you want a villager making a dock. You'll see I've got a fishing ship coming out here. Um, and I'm the only one in this game doing that, but it is a standard play. Now that I've played a couple more times on this, everyone does go for the fishing dock early. And you'll see, actually, for good reason, there's a bunch of fish, deep fish here on the outside. And you're a villager that makes the dock. Walk on this terrain to collect this fish. So, really good. Um, on the outside, too, there's a bunch more fish just on the edges, along with a bunch of other food options like chicken, boar. You'll have buffalo here too that you can go around and collect with the. Um, so the only issue is on the outside you can't build a dock or anything to gather food. That's one consideration. Um, and so yeah, we've kind of got a nomad start here. Take a look at what I can actually see here and kind of walk through what my thought process was in the game. Um, so, I'm Koreans. I know I can go tower play. I suspected I had someone close here. I think I saw a Vil walk this way, so I thought there was someone down there as well, and I knew there would be some aggression coming. Um, I'm just seeing what that blue is. App to Google, but maybe it's nothing. Um, Could just be black, and I'm just seeing that. I'm telling Jason, not Jason, there to get his chicken. Don't want to lose it. Don't want to give free food to anyone who might be playing against you. Pretty good tip there. Uh, so my idea was to play some feudal aggression. Um, and I think I stick with that up until a certain point. But we'll see how that turns out. Drew here is probably the highest elo player on our team. He's had a elo high around 1300. Floats around there, a little below, on a couple different accounts. Um, so that's generally what his elo is. It's much higher than the rest of us on the team, as you can see. But the other team is pretty much floating higher than our team, in terms of low, at least when this game was happening. Um, got the boar coming in there. Um, so I think it's a pretty even match. You know, elo does matter, but 1300 to 1200 isn't the biggest difference. Uh, and they have more players, you know, averaging higher. So just something to think about. And Dark Age here is just trucking away, going a bit slow. We might, well, no, we're almost out of the Dark Age. We're sitting at 17 vills. Kind of see we're kind of averaging a slower production of villagers on our team, so that does reflect the elo pretty well. Of course, you don't have any way to see this during the game. But yeah, you know, one really big advantage that we're gonna see in this game, and I'm alluding to that a little bit here, is actually the advantage of being able to work with same players or just players that you know are pretty consistent in general. That's kind of one really big advantage of the Age Buddies group, actually, is as I sit here idle, uh, is you can learn from each other and learn how to get better at the game. And in team games, you've got a reliable team partner to play on the ranked ladder with, um, to the point where you can uh, actually improve on your own skills and weaknesses with their skills and weaknesses, right? So one thing here is not Jason. He's a very strong archer player. That's like his meta. And my meta is actually going scouts or going knights. Um, but if we wanted to practice and switch, then we're both practicing the meta we're not familiar with, and he can ask some questions about playing knights, or I can ask questions on timing of my archers, or you know, something like that. So it's kind of a nice benefit of the group is learning, but it's playing together while you learn. So, and the group is open to anyone that's friendly. We have an elo range from about 7 to 800 up to about 13. We have some 1800s actually in the group too. Um, but the point is, if you're looking for good players to learn and get better with, then it's the right strategy. Even if it's not with the Age Buddies group, the right strategy to find players you play with at the same time on the same time zone or what have you. Um, so I hit excuse me. I'm about to hit feudal here. Um, I've got a bit of a late uptime on my barracks here. See, I don't immediately have something down for feudal, and I'm also really late. So at this point, I start thinking, well, instead of going for something feudal now, maybe I should instead go for a fast castle build, which is something that not Jason is doing. You could see the food difference in those two plans. So, and I'm getting upgrades. So my build is kind of scattered here. Um, and if there's one thing you're gonna do when you play online is you need to have a plan of what you're initially gonna do. It's okay to change your plan, but in my case, I changed my plan and I didn't replace it with a better plan. That's not a good plan. My only plan is I'm walling in this gold. And I saw that Gray was here to take it. I was not going to have any of that, so I walled that in. We'll see how that affects everything later. And he wants to annoy me here. I react. I'm sure of it. I react. I'm sure of it, I said. Okay, yep, there we go. There's the reaction. We'll get that scout low HP at least. And he does die. Cool. That's a good win. I see he's going more scouts, so it's good to be able to kill one of the scouts if he's going for a couple. It initially reduces their numbers, so instead of two, he only has one. He wasn't producing more behind this, so that's interesting. and I just pull my guys in here. And I realize, okay, this is gonna be aggressive. I need to get up to castle age, like, now. I'm really close. You actually see I went up here for gold, because I didn't have a good option around me, and I knew going down this way was a bad move from the aggression that was coming. And now I'm being hit with some more aggression, this time coming from Teal from this way, so I know for sure he's over here. I see this guy come around, and I've just got my entire eco on the wood line. I click up to castle, and I go, alright, now what? That's the next plan. I got to castle. I still don't actually have a unit in mind. I've dealt with scouts, so that would tell you spears. But now I've got archers from Teal, and yeah, so that's not gonna work. He sees I moved my guys over, or just had good timing, and moved to cut me off. It's at this point, I think I need to run. If you're facing this much aggression early on Nomad, the most dangerous thing you can do is to not expand away from the aggression. I'm like, I need a wood line. Let me throw down this tower. This will at least give me wood. I need that. Just need to buy some more time. We see not Jason made it to castle, so he's starting to produce his military, but it's going to take him a little bit of time before he's got that available. And you see the scout has come in again to do some work, and it's gone. So still going like have for Teal. Kind of funny. It looks like Teal doesn't really have much of a plan from what I can see either. And they've kind of flip-flopped. I don't actually know what their initial plan was. I didn't look at their Dark Age, but they must have had some kind of change as well. Sitting here idle is not good. I think I'm overwhelmed trying to focus on the next step I need to take. I've made it to castle. And I'm like, okay, I need another town center somewhere just to put more vills to work. And I need military. So we'll see if I can get that range up. Looking over at my team, though, now, Drew here is fully booming out. He's got nothing preventing him from expanding. No bad eco. He had a pretty good uptime with vills to go for a really heavy boom. I'm not going to be able to get any help from him. And then same thing over here from Google, actually. He's got a pretty good boom. Started as well. A bit slower from probably some of this walling to get up to castle. But Bengalis have a really good eco, so that's okay. In the face of all this pressure, I did throw down a stable, and I've got a knight out. A knight as Koreans doesn't make sense, but knights are my kind of comfort unit. I go for knights because I know how to play them a little better, and I'm thinking I can use a knight against all these archers a lot better than trying to get as many skirms up as I can. But Korean Knights are like the worst in the game, so it's really not a good strategy long term to play Knights. Again, that's one disadvantage. I didn't have a plan, so I went with something I thought might work. Yeah, so now I'm like, okay, I've got some time. Let me throw down another TC, just so I've got another wood line to take. I'm not really taking any more map space. So this is a bad TC, especially since I'm already stuck in this area here. I now see blue is here with teal. He's got something that counters my knights, so definitely can't make anything more there. And I'm kind of stuck right now. So I'm being fully, you know, hit with aggression. Not Jason is being 3v1'd with all of these Jurchen Grenadiers. Yellow's 3 TC booming in the corner, and Google, once he hits castle here, is also going to do the same thing, and I don't blame them. So if you're in a panic like this, the best thing you could actually do is just keep making villagers and keep trying to buy yourself some time. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just producing vills. I'm trying to get some skirmishers up because I know that'll help a little bit at least. And I lose my market. I can tell this isn't actually going to be a very long-term solution. Maybe I tell after I get this stone going. But pretty soon here, I start feeling the pressure even more so. I think after this market goes up, and I realize, you know, I'm gonna die in this spot. This is coming, you know. I already am being restricted on all sides. I have to keep moving a bunch of my vills around because of these archers. Teal's doing a really good job. He's got them upgraded now. I can't take this wood line. I don't think I have fletching in this moment either. Let's see. Nope. No fletching. It would show up. Right? Where am I looking? It'd be right here. So I was looking for the image, but I don't have the first upgrade. And now I'm being hit from the north. So this is where I'm realizing, oh, I've got knights, I've got pikes, I've got archers. I'm in the worst case scenario here to be defeated. I need to run. And I didn't even notice this, but there's definitely a green running around here as well, ready to pounce. And the moment I get the chance, I need to just send as many vills as I can. And you see, I'm not focused on anything except keeping vills alive. I'm still making vills. It's what you have to do. You have to keep making vills. Otherwise, you're just never giving yourself the chance to come back in a game. You need to produce vills always. And they're bringing the siege, so this is really not good. Really bad. Kind of funny. The grenadiers are actually doing damage on this building too. Looks like not Jason, is microing that very well. Yeah, I think I send them on the run now. I say we need to leave. That looks like a pretty good spot to go. Run. Go to the new mining camp location. I try to get some farms down here, thinking maybe I can hold out a little longer. But with this coming, that's definitely not true. And I really should have just sent everything I had in that moment there. It's getting bad for me. So when you're being pushed like this, the objective is to die as slow as possible because it helps your team for as long as possible. So I consolidate all my vills to one town center. This makes the arrows hit a little harder. And I know I'm definitely going to be dying here. So I need to survive, keep them as alive as much as possible. As many vills that you can save, the better. I got lucky. He did right-click this building, so you know he's not going to be able to get those vills. And I only lost 2 or 3 there, thanks to some fortunate passing. A couple there too, trying to get over into a different corner. But then I realized, nope, blue is ready for the surround. So yeah, I am officially migrating wherever I can. I am on 22 vills. And thanks to this wall, I don't walk right through a bunch of enemy castles. So that's nice. Where did they go? We're gonna find out. I don't know, actually. Okay, cool. They do go north. You know, I think they do walk by this way. But yeah, so now my new job in this game is to reboom. That's it. Make new villagers. Stay in the game. One thing I've ignored up to this point is water. So on water on this map, it's good if you go early aggression, get some water control. But long term, past people hitting castle age, the water doesn't really become that useful. So you can kind of ignore it from there. I did lose my my dock here. I think green or gray was attacking that before coming over here. You can see they've completely cleared out what I had. They're now on to red. Jason's job is now to die as slow as possible. Typically, when 2 people are dead in a game, it's kind of over from there. We're kind of 2v4. We have Google and we have Drew. And Google has a pretty good boom here. He's sitting at 56 vills. Even better with Drew at 70. You can see Drew is fully booming. He only is focused on vills. He has some conquistadors, but he's leading the boom wars versus the other team, and green is his counter of good boom. So let's bring the whole map back. We've seen that aggression come in. We've seen myself die. We see Jason kind of died. He died much better than I did actually, and that's a pretty good metric. He kept a lot more vills alive. He's got 2 TCs coming up right away. So that's a really good boom back. For myself, I actually do have the resources for 2 more TCs, and I need to have already have placed those just to boom back in this. And then asking for food or selling wood for food. This kind of res float is really bad if you're behind. But hey, that's what watching your games does. Helps you notice where you need to improve. You'll see I am adding back a dock here. I've scouted the fish. I'm bringing in a boar. I'm using all of this extra res on the sides as I can. Oh, fun. We got to see what Green was saying. Green says, need help here. Let's see what that's a reference to. So, you know, we have got Gray fighting away with some knights still. You know, I'm not actually sure where Green needs help. Is it here? It must be here. He sees the trebuchet. That's definitely what it is. And he does trickle treb a ram. Actually, if trickle trebbing is 1 treb, trickle ramming is actually like a quarter trickle treb, because to have a successful ram push, you need even more rams than you do trebs for a successful treb push. So that could be improved by him. But I mean, I can't really critique them. They've played it very well. They've gotten 2 players completely knocked out. I'm getting a castle up. My idea is going wagons, because I don't play Koreans much, and I do like their unique unit. So that was my idea, was to make that work. And I've got 2 town centers coming up. Well, one additional to make for 2. All my villas are on wood. I should be spending that wood more. But I am spending all my res, so you know that is good for me there. And I'm kind of focused here. This is where all my focus is. I say, okay, I need to help support this push. If there's any way we get back in this game, it's by killing a player. So we need to kill green. That's the goal. And we are all on voice, by the way. I didn't mention that at the start, but all 4 of us are on Discord. The Age Buddies group has a Discord. You can find it, actually, if you go to agebuddies.com, there's a link to the Discord on that website that tells you more about the group too, what we're about. So feel free to check that out. But I know we need to support over there, you know, and again, this is my perspective. And I do know that blue is attacking us, right? So they've followed us to this corner. We're kind of stuck in this corner here. We need to make sure we build out of it. We stay alive, and don't succumb to any pressure. So this is good on what Drew is doing here. Over here, we do actually have Google getting ready for a push too. I wasn't able to pay attention to any of this during the game, because it's just too much to focus on yourself than to try to help others too. But yeah, you can see he's going for some elephants and Ratha. I think that's a pretty decent combo. I know Bengalis have their bonus for elephants, actually, so they do more damage. And I think he's coming for a forward castle, if I can see what those vills are holding. And looks like we've been missing some fighting here, actually, already. We can see what Google was trying to succeed with. I think he's coming around for like a castle in the corner here to get... Oh, no, okay, he's going for the water. That's good. Still, taking some control, I think, is better. Maybe this will distract. But I, I, I only know in this moment. Uh, excuse me. Oh, goodness. What a sneeze. So sorry. Um, I only know in this moment that Google is going to have to take on Teal because they're both kind of in their own section of the map. And I see that blue and green are here. Gray is going to be an issue as well, but hopefully not for us right away. So back over here, you know, we've got Drew kind of following into this fight a little too much, I would say. He's under 2 towers, and he's fighting against skirms with conks. So that's not the best fight. At this moment, I know he's going to need some help. And he actually does vocalize needing some additional help with military. Going it's 2v1. He's got all of these knights coming in from Gray. And he's not going to be doing this very long if he doesn't have that support. So, you know, I'm 2 TC booming, 3 TC at this point. And I've got vills coming out of every town center. And I realize, okay, I need to start getting some military there. And I only see skirms, so I'm going to start working towards getting some knights. Not knights, but light cav. Just because I need to play some trash and good trash to counter. You can see Drew is trying to do it all himself right now. And you know, that's a good testament to the fighting spirit. But when you're 2v3 or 1v3 or 1v2 or whatever, you're not really keeping up with your military count of your opponent. You need that support. So he's gonna start giving out that call. You see, Jason is actually not Jason, is actually starting to make some military too. I think at some point here too, I see. Not Jason has sent some bills out this way. I think I sent some bills that way too, because I realize we're kind of stuck in this corner. I'm looking for space to build. Finally, some stables coming in that I was talking about. Hearing Drew's calls for help, and looks like we do actually have a pretty good push coming from Google here. He's pushing down a TC. He's got a bunch of battle elephants coming in to support his Ratha. He is kind of going up against a hard unit though, because Arbalist is a pretty good counter to all of this. So at least he brought enough to do some damage with the Trebs, but I don't think this fight is actually a winning fight. Seems like really, really loud fights. Maybe it's just me. We'll have to see. You guys can let me know. I probably won't do too much editing on this video. But you know, this is kind of a test run for Capture Age. So I'll make any improvements, any changes to how I do things from there. But yeah, we need to support Drew. He's in a lot of trouble. He's got full counter, 2 enemies here. We have some siege that's helping, so really good job from not Jason. And I've really started to produce my light cav. I am still producing vills though, and this is important. You'll see I'm actually at 69 vills. If we look at our opponents, they're at almost 100, almost 100, over 100, almost 100. And then our team is actually really slacking on builds. So not Jason has already boomed back to 116, but Drew stopped at 95, and Google is still at 74. So the fighting has taken over some of the need for res, and that affects our boom long term. So really, really important. You see, I'm out of production here. I'm idle. I should cancel some of these forces, some of the light cav, and go for more vills. And I realize I need more production because I've got too much wood, too much food just sitting. Finally getting more on food going. And looks like Drew is also finding his way to this corner too. So that is good. We're expanding out in this way. We think about it, and going back to the start of the game, this is where I was and where we had not Jason originally. All the res that was here is kind of gone now. There was that gold that was surrounded by houses, but that's now being taken completely. And there's wood here, but we're starting to run out of all of this res. You know, Teal is taking all that gold that's there, and he needs it for these fights. He's doing a good job with unit control here. Google is really doing a beast job here, just fighting for so long by himself. And again, I think this is a really hard fight. I don't think Bengalis have good skirms. And so going for their elephant combo here or infantry, which is their strength, is really difficult. All right, and then we've got some trebs again here, so we're gonna try this push again from here, and we need to get this push going. At this point in the game, Google starts to give us a little bit of heads up. He's gonna be in trouble here. He knows what the army behind his opponent is, and it's only a matter of time before some trebs come and take down some castles. And I really need all the gold I can get. You see, I'm still taking... I lost some villas here earlier, but I'm still trying to take all the gold I can. And you see, I start to send some people out this way just to get on different res locations. Looking to see where I find new gold, actually. But apparently I've got 38 on gold. Is that back here still? Nope. Where do we have that at? Oh no, 0 on gold now. Okay. Yep. Maybe I misread that. Maybe it just changed. But I just ran out of gold. I've got some guys here for a new TC this way. And at some point I get back on gold, but I really need it. This is the gold I want to be on. And I'm just still making villagers and making light cav. I could get the Hussar upgrade, I think, right? Do Koreans get Hussar? Maybe they don't. Let's see, what's the highest looking unit for the light cav line? I do get Hussar. Cool. So I could get that once I get to Imp. I'm not an Imp. I forgot about that little detail. You need to be an Imp to be making Hussar. It's been looking really bleak for a while. We're kind of holding here. I think we are actually holding, but we can't push. The push has died. So that's really rough looking, honestly. And I think right now we're about to see the start of the push onto Google. So he's starting to crumble. He doesn't have the units here to stop this. But he is doing some raiding, so that's really nice. He's trying to distract blue. And then also we do have not Jason here. He's fully boomed out. He is fully working on getting military now. So we're gonna see him make a bunch of these rocket carts. And you can see he's fortifying our positions with castles in the north. You see, I've finally found some stone. I think I want that gold too, but I'm gonna take some stone to sell for gold, at least until I know we can get this. And I don't have any military. I'm still trying to make villagers, but I'm also trying to make new production so I can produce more villager or more trash military to help the team. You know, I'm not really in the game. My score really reflects that. So to get in the game, you have to make villagers. Once you're at like 80 vills, you should definitely add in some military from there just to help out. Even doing some light raiding would have been nice. You know, I could have probably found this wood line here and done a lot of distracting. Anything that like that would help help against your opponents, and it really helps your ally like Drew, who's having to do this work 1v3. So he's doing a great job. MVPing the entire team right now. But he can't do it alone. And Kongs too, they're a really strong unit, but especially, you know, once you're an imp, they drop a little. They drop off a little. And you have to keep moving with them. So, you know, we really need that meat shield here now more than ever. And up north here, looks like not Jason is still preparing for a push. And Google is officially on the push himself. He's getting pushed completely. It's now Google's turn. So this is the third player in the game on the Age Buddies team. It's his turn to die slowly. That's his new job. And if he can, to go elsewhere. If he can distract elsewhere, that's great. Looks like he's got a side push there. But if we're going to be able to keep our push here, which, you know, for the first time in a while, sorry, it's loud. Let me do this. I can't think when it's so loud. Let me just turn that down a little bit. There, and I'll adjust the levels of everything. If there's one specific sound that's too quiet or too loud, tell me. I'll make the adjustments. You know, want to make sure it's something that I enjoy, because it's a fun game. Yeah, so at this point, we actually have the push coming. We have enough siege from not Jason to really help out. I'm providing the trash against the skirms. Google really needs to just hold. He's completely going to get pushed and crumble, but he needs to hold. He needs to give us time to push green. And I think at this point, we're going to start seeing not Jason do some stuff to push gray, but also to push blue. He's really expanded and built up military here, so I think that's where we're going to see that come from. I've just clicked Imp myself, though. I'm back to 100 vills. I'm in Imp. I'm actually pretty close with the enemy team's vill count, actually surpassing blue. So if you've died early in a game and your team is there to support you, you can absolutely make it back in the game and make a difference too. So when I get to Imp, my plan is to produce trebs from this castle and to start trebbing down all these towers. You know, there's a ton of towers here that green is placed, which is really smart, especially when there's a big mass unit for ranges, or a ranged mass of units to push with. Oh, Gray does attack, not Jason here. That's interesting. I didn't know that happened. But I do know he went full pikeman, so he's kind of already working on the unit to directly counter Gray. I've got my units coming. I don't know where they're going. Would have been cool to try to deny that castle, but it's not going to happen. Oh, looks like he denies it himself. I don't know. Oh, looks like Drew did see that. But I was going to say, I'm not sure if Drew would have seen that. And I've thrown some light cav here just to provide some, you know, cannon fodder per se. And I've got more vills coming on this gold here. Did I get... Yep, I also added some gold vills there. I think that's all the gold I'm taking. So I really can't go gold units. I've got 51 on food, though. So all of the booming I've done behind has really paid off. There was woodlines here. I kept adding food. I could probably remove both of these or 3 of these lumber camps. Add more food here. Green is calling blue an idle villager. Not really the best team play to say that. I can understand some frustration. You know, green has kind of been taking a 2v1 fight here at a minimum for a while. And his team should be there to try to support him. But not the greatest mentality to say. Oh, excuse me. You know, to have to support your teammates. And green did escape here. I think green is a little aware he's kind of backed into this corner now. He can run this way for sure, but as far as res, he's out of res here. He needs to expand elsewhere. I think that's what those vills are coming here to do. Yep, here they found some gold. They're gonna go mine there. So, We did a really good job to stay in this game up until the point where, green is having trouble finding the res he needs to fight. And I think that's the same thing with orange. Green is just very idle here too. Not orange. Well, orange earlier, sure, but gray I meant. Colorblind. Um, and I think over in this corner too. Like I think all of this is tapped. It's paid off finally, but Google is doing a really good job. He's dying slowly still. He still has 4 castles in this corner. He's 2v1, still making a difference. And he did escape a little bit off to this way. I think he'll probably end up sending some villas north too. But at this point, we need to push. I've started making trebs of my own. We've just got the go-ahead from Drew, so I get my trebs forward and we start getting ready to push. And you'll see I go full... I've gone for these Fire Lancers because I wanted to go against the Knights if they showed up. And I like their single shot at a mass of units like Skirms, but they're not the best unit against Skirms. I probably should have just stayed full Hussar here. And I am still expanding eco, and I've got more eco there. So I've done very good. Expanding eco has really kept us in this game. Not Jason did the same. He actually deleted a bunch of eco to get more military. Maybe he didn't delete it, but rather Gray came and raided him, and that deleted it for him. Blue is doing a little bit of poking there, but blue is being passive. I will say that. It's not helping green's perspective, but blue is actually having to recover from those raids from Google earlier. And this is where all of his focus is. And I think what their mistake is here is actually 2v1ing Google still. They should see by his score that he's dead. I've been the dead player on my team, and he's lower than me. So at this point, they should just move on from Google, and all of these blue cav units should instead come back and raid Jason, or get in here and raid Daru. Or come here and help protect green. And I think that's probably the strongest argument, especially with how much aggression green is taking right now. We're going to see him ask for help again, saying that he is dying. And we'll see if his team can come back for him. But looking at the enemy team, green has 117 vills. You have 95 from gray, 70 and dropping from teal. Looks like we've had some raids. Yes, we do, from not Jason. So the whole game up until about this moment, we've been behind on eco, and we just now took the lead on eco. Our 2 dead players are back in the game. We did exchange it for Google. He's back to being a dead player, but now we're able to take out green, slowly pushing him here. Teal is losing all of his eco here. These are not safe farms he can take anymore because of the future raids. Green coming in now saying he's dying, which is very true. He's got not much eco here left to try to protect. And credit to Gray, he's here to protect, but I've got enough meat shield to help a little bit. And there's about 50 conks here, 57 for the paladin. So those paladin are gonna die. They're tanky Frank paladin, but there's enough conks here and enough meat shield to just clear it all. And now all of that food eco from green is gone. We can see he's fully in a reboom mode now. So blue has to reboom. We see blue just resigned. So he's tapped out. He got raided to death earlier. And now gray is kind of the last one to fall. A little bit of salt from green. Frustration is probably the better word than salt. Rightfully so, frustrated at his team. They didn't have the advantage we did of being able to communicate on voice, be able to organize our strategy. Now we're coming in for raids. Green resigned. Gray just resigned, and now we're gonna see Teal give it up here too. Even with Teal's large army coming to try to help stop the bleeding, it's too late and far gone. So, GG, what a game. There's a couple points I want to talk about that game. One, the map is really interesting. Um, Tons of shorefish on the edge, and if you really went late game, there's a ton of trees in the center here, or not in the center, on the sides. Throughout the center, you still have plenty of wood lines, but if you ever did take water control, then you could successfully keep a corner. I'm not sure how really effective taking this corner would be. It's kind of out there, and you have to cut a spot for a lumber camp for any efficient res collection too. So, but something to consider on that. Um, and and you definitely need to make sure that you fish. At the end of this game, I still have all my fish. If we had pushed any aggression, we could have tried for any of their fish, but I think that happened earlier. Green lost all of his fishing eco, lost his docks. I'm forgetting who played water. We didn't really cover that during this game. Maybe you'll see that on the mini map during the game. You can answer that question yourself. Um, but yeah, no, really well played. Um, um, I would say the MVP Drew definitely came in with a really big boom, and then had his eco or had his military to protect the eco. Gave Jason and I a spot to reboom at, and then I honestly it's really tied up there with Google, who did such a good game or good job all game up until the very end where he died. He died as slow as he could have. Um, and yeah, finally won that won it in the end for us. Even though he suffered at the end, he played the entire game, kept Teal busy, and yeah, that's that really just demonstrates the power of a good team that can communicate, that plays together, and if you don't panic when you start to lose, or even if you do, and you just focus on the plan or a new plan, then you can come back and win it. So yeah, GG's. Well played to all the Age Buddies, and check out agebuddies.com if you want to find the Discord link um, and join the group. We do more than just team games. You can find a partner to play 1v1s with as well if you only like 1v1s. And every weekend, on Sunday, typically, we do a host of community games, just going off of the vibes of whoever's there and what you want to play. So, all are welcome to join as long as you have a good mindset, good attitude, and yeah, and you like to have fun with age. Those are the only requirements. So, with that, I will catch you guys next time.